You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, B&B fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got your early edition weekly spoilers for January 1st through 5th on the CBS soap opera. I'm so excited to unpack this for you. Hey, if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our updates, spoilers, and news. Now let's dig in real quick. As usual, before we dig into what we have for next week, I'm going to give you a super quick rundown of the rest of this week just to give you context. As of now, you guys will have known there's no new episode on Monday because Christmas Day was CBS sports coverage, and then we got a brand new episode on Tuesday, the 26th, and the action from then is going to pick up again on Wednesday, December 27th, because that's how they roll. So on Tuesday, we saw Steffi walking in on Hope and Thomas, and she starts giving Hope grief. And that grief is going to continue on Wednesday. Steffi is telling Hope that she cannot play with Thomas Forrester's feelings because he could spiral out of control and into his past obsessive behavior again. I do wonder if Steffi's going to ask Thomas to step out so that she can talk to Hope alone, because as we saw on Tuesday, Thomas was in the room. I tend to think, just because based on Thursday spoilers, that Thomas does stay in the room and Steffi does all this in front of him. And of course, it's no surprise. The whole family has been worried and they've all told this. Taylor, of course, Thomas's mom, who has now been exited because Bold fired Krista Allen and said she wasn't needed for the storylines. But before she left, she expressed the same kind of sentiment to Hope, that she was worried that basically Hope was using him for sex and for a rebound, and that this could trash his whole recovery and redemption and, you know, all the months of intense psychotherapy. So Steffi is definitely putting the pressure on Hope and doing it in front of her brother. That same day, Ridge is at the hospital. He's still with this same old, oh, should I put my dad through it? What's crazy to me is that Brooke is now basically making it out like Ridge is a hero for letting Finn do this experimental procedure when Ridge just wanted to unplug him. And then Brooke said something on Tuesday. It was like, and we may have cause to thank Finn, like if it works out. Like, she's not thankful. But Ridge is definitely the hero of this whole story as far as Brooke is concerned. And that's just, to me, exhausting. All right, Thursday, December 28th. Thomas is defiant with Steffi. He is not very happy that she is pushing Hope into a corner. And, you know, he doesn't want to lose Hope. He loves Hope and he's willing to be patient with Hope. And as Eric and Ridge have both said, you know, Thomas and Hope are adults. They can decide what they want. But Steffi wants to protect her brother. And I don't know, Finn's going to come over to the office to talk to them. And that's why the three, Thomas, Steffi, and Finn, end up in the room. I don't know if Hope's still in the room because that's not part of the spoiler. It's a Thomas, Steffi, and Finn spoiler. And it says Finn sides with his wife. So, of course he's going to, but Thomas really doesn't want Steffi to pressure Hope to the point that she calls things off with him. And I don't think that that's going to happen, but all these people keep chipping away at their relationship. Meanwhile, Xander has a initial consultation with his brand new doctor. Xander Avant is back on Thursday, the 28th. His new doctor is Finn, and he's not going to be very happy to know that Finn is connected to the Forresters by marriage. Maybe Finn will tell him. That would seem weird because doctors shouldn't be talking personal stuff. Or maybe Xander sees a photo of Finn and Steffi on Finn's desk, but he's not going to be happy about it. And I do wonder if Xander is seriously sick or if this is just some random appointment, which would be very strange. His return is very strange. In general, we haven't gotten the people back that should have come back, like Felicia and Kristen and Rick. And then we've got Xander out of the blue. Friday, December 29th is going to be a rerun, or as they like to call it on CBS Daytime, an encore. This is from June 23rd, 2023, a pretty good episode. It was the second of 2 episodes where Thomas and Hope were kissing. This one, he saw them at the tail end of one, and this is the next episode where at the top of the episode, he sees them kissing. He runs into Steffi, and then he passionately kisses her, and that just started the whole waffle thing all over again. All right, early weekly spoilers then for January 1st through 5th, now that you know what's happening the rest of this week. Okay, so we have this rerun on Friday, the 29th, and as of right now, there is a new episode slated for New Year's Day on Monday. It's showing up that way on TV Guide. It's showing up that way on the Xfinity Cable Guide. However, I will caution you that a lot of times on New Year's, they don't do a new episode. Maybe they're gonna really do it since they have a rerun on Friday, but I advise you to check your DVR. And of course, I'll let you know here, but if it is an encore or a preemption, you want to double check and make sure that your Tuesday, January 2nd recording is set. You may want to do a manual recording just in case, because when they do unscheduled preemptions and reruns, it can throw off your DVR, just so you know. All right, so the week of January 1st, we're going to find out more about Xander Avant's return. Of course, he's back in town meeting with his new doctor. So to me, that's a red flag that we might be getting another medical storyline, but I really hope that's not the case. This is Bold and the Beautiful, a show about a family fashion house. It is not General Hospital. But Xander's return could also be a big problem for Thop, because it was 2019 when we last saw Xander, and I can only imagine he'll be stunned to find out Hope is dating Thomas, since Thomas pressured Xander to keep the baby Beth secret, and Xander still thinks Thomas killed Emma. The showrunners made it very clear that it was her texting and driving, but we all know that Thomas did stop at the site of the wreck. He didn't call 911. He could have handled things better, but he, according to the showrunners and how they have wrapped things up in their official statements, he did not kill her. So I'm also anticipating more RJ and Luna next week because they don't have any spoilers this week, and Brad Bell seems to be obsessed with them. I also suspect as the new year kicks off, we're going to see Rick Forrester back home with Donna Logan and recovering after his near-death incident. Also, is it me, or is it really bad writing that the family seems to be all talking about how Eric passed over to the other side, then they pulled him back? How would they know that? That all took place between Eric's 2 ears in his brain, and he hasn't told anybody. So to me, it's ridiculously bad writing to my eyes and ears. I'm sure it's going to be a few weeks from now, but I'm very curious if Eric is going to embrace retirement after this medical crisis or push his way back into leadership at Forrester Creations, despite Ridge wanting him to retire. You can bet Ridge will use this near-death medical crisis as leverage to try and force his dad out, because that's what he was trying to do even before he knew his dad, Eric, had any medical issues. And I'm sure it'll be under the excuse of, Dad, we're all worried about you. You got to go. So we'll see. I also suspect we may soon say farewell to Thorne Forrester, although I would love him to stick around. And this was weird. On Tuesday's episode, Ridge name-dropped Felicia, Kristen, and Rick as coming to town to see Eric. I will be absolutely stunned if they show them on screen. I tend to think we're just going to have name drops where Brooke and Ridge talk about, oh, it was so nice to see them there with Dad, but we don't actually see them. All right, that's what we have right now for January 1st through 5th. Please click subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think about what's coming. And be sure to come back soon, because as always, we are here talking Bold and the Beautiful 7 days a week. And this is Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.